Hey, how's it going? It's Annaliese here. Thank you so much for the support and encouragement for my channel. You guys totally rock. You can keep on supporting by subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and watching some of my previous videos as well. So today I'm doing an America's Next Top Model British Invasion Q&A. Now I have been overwhelmed by all of the questions. There is no way that I can fit them all into this video. I might have to do it in sections. I'm even thinking about doing a Britain's Next Top Model Q&A. Would you want to see that? But all this reminiscing has made me do some digging, and I found my ANTM Portfolio, yes! So it's looking all official right there with a letter from the production company. I'm not sure if you're going to get a glare on this, but there is my Kardashian shoot, which was super fun. Into the very shot, bouncing lowriders. What's next? Oh, maple syrup, one of my favorite shots right there. Estelle and our dinner party vibes. What's next? Oh, love this shot. I love how my booty is looking so perfect. Silkworms into Macau Tower and the dreaded bottle. So let's get into this Q&A. Lauren Chapman asks, were you paid to be on ANTM? I'm always curious how contestants are able to sustain potentially being on the show for long periods of time. All right, Lauren, no, you are not paid to be on the show. Well, the British girls weren't anyways. But what you do get is a per diem, which is money that you get for your expenses on a daily basis. However, when you are filming, it's actually very hard to spend your per diem because you're constantly basically being babysat the whole time. What you do spend your money on is food that the runners go and buy and then that is brought back to the house. But really, you don't get paid to be on the show. Nope. Jay wants to know, how long is the period between filming the show and then when it airs? So let me see if I can cast my mind back. We filmed ours from the end of September until the end of November. And I want to say that it aired around March, April? I don't know, maybe check that out. That period actually feels so much longer than it actually is, trust me. So I've got a bit of a two-parter here. Stiliana Panova says, how was the schedule for the challenges, photo shoots and eliminations? So I think I mentioned in my last Q&A that elimination is every 4 days, so you're on a 4-day week. So I think it was confessionals, challenge, photo shoot, elimination. I think that sometimes the confessionals might have come after the challenge day, but basically that was the kind of scheduling of things. It was a bit of a nightmare on the brain. You literally had no clue where you were. And then the second part of your question was, also, do you think the show can help models in the real modeling world? Well, that's a big question as well. I think it just depends on what type of model you're trying to be. If you're trying to be like a high fashion, out there, Dior, Balenciaga, then the show is probably not the right platform for you. However, if you are just trying to be a commercial model, or maybe you're not even sure what you want to do and it's about exposing who you are, let's face it, America's Next Top Model is a great platform to do that from. So for me, as a commercial model, presenter, etc., the show definitely helped me out. It just gave me a voice to speak, and yeah, I'm really proud of that. Sushi for Nico said, so are the confessionals shot on a different day? I hopefully think I've just answered that. And are you still in touch with any of the judges / Tyra, or is the contact just the time that you're on the show and then they move on? You are correct, Nico. Yeah, I'm not actually in contact with any of the judges. I don't think I've spoken to any of them on social media or anything. But at the end of the day, if you think about the amount of contestants that have been on America's Next Top Model, that's a lot of damn people. So I'm not really offended by that. Brian Drain says, the show kind of painted Simone and Kyle and maybe Ebony as being the villains of the show. Would you say that that's an accurate representation? Did they get along well with the other girls? Now, I actually don't think we had a villain of our series per se. I do see that maybe you could have picked up that they weren't as positive maybe as the rest of us, but I think it was just about the different dynamics. For example, Kyle didn't spend a lot of time like hanging out with us and having fun, if that makes sense. She kept herself very separate, which is where I think you see a lot of like tensions in the show. As for Simone and that, I mean, I actually loved Simone. I know it doesn't necessarily look like that when I'm doing my recaps and stuff, but Simone was a total sweetheart. And I think Ebony was just upset with being made to be a baby, which is kind of understandable. So no, I don't think that that's an accurate representation, and everyone got along. Ish. Classical Music asked, do you think that Jasmine and Mariah were robbed? Do I think they should have gone further than they actually did? Now, I actually think most of us had the potential to go home in that first photo shoot. Jumping on that trampoline, my shot was not great for sure. And then also, if you remember, shoot number 2, which was the Kardashian shoot, the actual feedback that a lot of us got was not great. So for me, I feel like most of us were kind of up for the picking when it came to leaving either first or second. Alexander Hokema says Angela Preston claimed that on cycle 17 she was forced to work 16-hour days without a meal break, kept in isolation for 6 hours at a time, and wasn't paid an actual legal wage for her time on the show. Did you experience this on cycle 18? Okay, let me think. Long hour days? Tick for sure. I think when it comes to production, the days are always going to be long. When you then add in 10 girls, hair and makeup and photo shoots, I kind of just expected that the days were going to be super long. Did we have meal breaks? Yeah. I remember like catering and stuff, and I remember quite liking the food. Don't get me wrong, there were definitely times on the show when we wished we could eat and we weren't allowed to at the time, but generally there was always breaks. On cycle 18 anyways. When it comes to isolation as well, the only time I was kept in isolation was during the casting process at the hotel. And as for being paid, I wasn't paid to do the show. I think it might be worth asking some of the American girls if they were paid. But as for us Brits, we couldn't get paid to do the show because that would cause an issue with visas, etc. Methargist Wearing says, are you allowed to write stuff down and keep a journal in the house, or do they take that away from you? I don't remember having a pen and paper while I was on the show, but I also don't remember not being allowed to. However, I can say that on Britain's Next Top Model, I actually wrote my dissertation in the house because I was writing about reality TV, and I remember that I kind of had to do this in secret. Like when we went to bed is when I would write and stuff. So, I don't know, maybe. Methargist also asked about memorabilia, so I thought I'd dig some out for you. Some of you wanted to see my diamond bracelet that I won on the show. Not sure if you can see that. It probably needs a clean, but there it is. I also have this, which is a bit of an odd one, but this random signed top. When I left for the house, my friends decided to pack this t-shirt for me because I was celebrating my 25th birthday while I'd be away. So they made this t-shirt and wrote all different messages on it. But then while I was in the house, also some of the girls wrote their messages as well. So, who's this? I've got happy birthday, my beautiful Brit. Let's have a bloody great time. And that's from Mariah. Also, Laura's here with a cat drawing saying happy birthday. Kyle, happy birthday, beauty. Candice, what did Candice say? Candice said, if I can read it, happy birthday, something about many great wishes, the best of your life, Candice. Said as Marie, also Simone is on here as well. So this, and also quite a lot of production signed it as well. So this is something that I'll always treasure. And if you think this top it's like 9 years old, jeez. And then this one. Surmise! Please don't judge me, but I actually stole this t-shirt off a giant teddy bear that was in the house. Yeah, when we were leaving, I fully undressed that teddy bear and was like, this t-shirt is mine. I actually still wear it as well. It's a bit of a squeeze, but I'm so here for it. Now, lots of you have asked about elimination, eliminated girls. Let me start with my Sargasso, who says, can you share with us what it's like after your ANTM elimination? Where do they take you? Is it difficult to transition out of having cameras following you 24/7? All right. Let me try and think about my elimination. I know that once you're eliminated, you are definitely kept in some type of isolation. And then taken to the hotel where, yes, you've guessed it, the rest of the eliminated girls are, but you are still kept very separate indeed. Is it difficult to transition to normal life? Hell yeah. You literally find yourself asking people around you if you can go to the bathroom because you've spent the last 2 months asking for every single move that you make. It actually feels really weird to be left alone. I definitely remember that kind of anxiety when I came back to London. Morad C asks, what happens to the eliminated girls? Hopefully I've just answered that. Do you get to see them after judging? Nope, we don't get to see them. We are held back at the hotel while they go back to the house, collect all their stuff, and then are taken to a hotel. Did we get to see Louise after her elimination? Nope, unless you got eliminated and then you would have joined her at the hotel. And another one, did we get to see the eliminated girls while filming and did they come to Macau? That is from Jesus Bujud. Did we see the girls while filming? I don't sound sure, do I? I don't think we did. We were obviously always kept very separate. If the eliminated girls were around, they were kept in separate vans, etc. I think the only time I really recall seeing them is when we travelled. So the eliminated girls did come to Macau, which is kind of obvious to be fair because they were all in the final catwalk show. Again, just kept in a separate hotel. In fact, there are a lot of stories about what went on at this hotel. Loads of stories. I wish I was there. That's where the real reality show was, trust me. Now that you're making me think, I feel like there was an issue where production had to try and keep it a secret as to who was eliminated. So the eliminated girls were kept around and just used as like a distraction of some sort. Kirky Calroa says, who did I initially think would win ANTM? My front runners were always Az and Sophie. Who are you still friends with to this day? Well, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I still speak to Sophie, of course Ashley, and I follow lots of the girls on Instagram as well. So Kyle, Az, Laura. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was best friends with any of them though. And then who do I think is the most successful alumni from that season? Apart from me. No, I'm joking. I think we would have to say that the most successful, of course it does depend on what you qualify as success, but I would say it's got to be Ebony. I mean, she is out there doing all sorts of shiznick, TED Talks and what have you. Unfortunately, I don't speak to her. She kind of drifted away the bigger she got, if that made sense. But all the best to her. I think she's done such a great job, but you can't really forget to acknowledge like Marie doing her acting as well as Candice, Sophie's killing it. Yeah, there was a lot of talent in our season. Last question, and it is from A654, who says, who are some of your favourites from the other cycles of ANTM? My ultimate favourite has probably got to be Eva. She was always like somebody that I looked up to growing up, but also Yaya, you can't not mention her. I loved Naima. Takara. Oh, the list really does go on and on. There was definitely a lot of girls that I really looked up to. I grew up with the show, trust me. And have I met or worked with any other girls from other cycles? So I actually modelled in South Africa for a season and I met Rayalea. I've also met Aminat as well. And then after the show aired, after ANTM aired, I was in LA and I met Lisa D'Amato and Brittany, and we actually went to Lisa's house in like the Hollywood Hills, which is like a castle, and it was just epic and one of those very surreal days. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave any other questions you may have for me in the comments below. You can also take a look at some of my outfit check videos. They are filled with all the styling tips and inspiration you could possibly need. But let's face it, I know that you guys are here for the ANTM videos, so feel free to check out some of my previous recaps as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you soon.